Hi, this is Jamie from VAMflax, and this is my Devcast on scene management in Unity. Right, okay. So here's my game, and what we're going to look at today, and hopefully fix, is I've got these little plants that if I play the game, hopefully you can see the plants near the helicopter flutter around. And that's just to add a bit of character to the game and make it cool and stuff. Now if you fly away from them they stop fluttering, although that's probably quite difficult to see from here. And really the whole point of what I'm trying to do now is I want to have lots of areas of plants around the level, but I don't want to update them all every frame because they're going to have to do all sorts of calculations, whatever. So that's my first area of plants. If we just go over here, find another bunch of them over here, and they flutter around, which is great, but I've done them in a really sort of dumb way. So if we have a look at a plant, there you go. So in my scene I've got the whole level, it's all split into this big sort of hierarchy. Now my plants are here, and I've got two areas. Area 1 is here, and then area 2 is, if you press F, it'll show you in the view. So it's over there, and I've sort of split them out, and I think they'll always be just around a little crop of trees, and so I've kind of thought this in advance that I'm going to need to do it. Is I don't want to update all of the little plants every time, well, every frame, so it's going to be probably too expensive once they're all over the level. And also this level I think is probably about a quarter of what it's going to be, so it's going to be, you know, 4 lots of that, and all the little dinky plants are probably going to take up a bit of time calculating whether they should flutter around and then actually doing the little fluttering. So let's click on one of them. Now the bit that actually makes them wobble around, so they've got a mesh, they've got the script, that's what makes it wobble, and this is just the overly complicated shader material and shader on there. So if we go to the plant prototype, will it open? It did. Okay, so I've called it plant prototype script because I didn't think it was going to be the one I was going to use in the end. Now, so it's a mono behavior, so it gets the update and awake start and update bit, and I do some small little optimizations. Like I set how far away you need to be from it before it starts wobbling about, and then the minimum, well, once you get within a minimum distance it will have a maximum wobble, and there's just some settings for how much that will wobble, and then I go through in the update. First of all I check to see if there's a helicopter, because it only works when there's a helicopter. If you're just the man then it doesn't do anything, and it works out whether we're close enough for the wobble to be done, and then it does a bunch of stuff. It wobbles more when you've got a lower altitude and stuff like that. So when you're close to them they wobble a lot, when you're further away they don't wobble much at all. Now the thing is, if I'm over one side of the level I pretty much can put stuff into the level to say, well, don't even bother checking, and that's the bit that I want to put in today. That's what this Devcast is about. So what I want to do is somehow group all of these plants into one thing that says, shall I even bother updating this frame? So, you know, that's what we're going to do. So we're in area 1. Now I think that game component doesn't have anything on it, but what we want to do is add a trigger collider of some sort. So let's have a look. Collider. We want a box collider. Or do we want a box collider? Let's have a sphere collider. Ooh, where is it? Oh, there it is. It's that tiny little thing down there. Right. So if I move that about, it's going to move all my little doodads. Hang on. So let's move all the plants upstairs. We get the area. Let's try and put that in the middle of the plant. There you go, you can see it. So we want it to be so that when we can make that bigger, when the helicopter is within that ball, want to see, then we want to do the fluttering. So if we move it there, yeah, so if the helicopter's in that ball, make it a little bit bigger, we want to flutter, move it that way a bit. We want to flutter those plants, otherwise we don't want to at all. So put those plants back in the thing. Now it's quite cool because as you drag things around the hierarchy, they stay in the same place. Hey, look at that. But their local transforms all change, which is quite a cool little thing. So what we want to do is add a script to this area that detects when the helicopter goes in it, and when the helicopter is in it, we want to start updating these little doodads. So let's detect the collision first. So is trigger. We want to make it a trigger. We don't want to bump into it. That wouldn't be good. We want a new script. So let's make a script. What should we call it? We could make it general purpose because we probably want other things like this. But for right now, we'll just call it a plant manager because everything's a manager. Yeah, that'll do. Ooh, plant manager. I'll just put script on the end of everything. Never mind. Right, so we want to plonk that onto area 1. So in area 1 there is a plant manager. Yeah. Right, this is gonna be cool. So when the helicopter bumps into it, we want to turn everything on, and when it leaves we want to turn everything off, or the updating of it, and we want to reset it back to the original position. Now let's see, probably going to need some Google. So on, no, it's not on trigger enter, is it? It's the helicopter will have an on trigger enter because he'll hit into this thing. If the other thing has a plant script, plant manager, then it wants to enable it. But do you get a trigger when you're hit? I don't think you do. Let's have a look. Whoa, what? No, not that. D on trigger enter. Whoa. On trigger enter. On trigger enter is called when the collider other enters the trigger. This is sent to the trigger collider and the rigid body, if any, that the trigger collider belongs to. Really? Okay. Well, let's see. Let's just copy that. C#. On trigger enter. Do. On trigger enter. Let's just print something out. Debug log. Enter. And we could do the exit as well. Not sure this is going to do anything. Exit. Okay. No, don't go there. Go there. So let's move the helicopter out of it so it doesn't start in it. Heli do there. Start over. Probably want to not be in the ground. There. Give that a go. Console. So let's see when we fly over there a bit. Ooh. What? It did it 3 times. Why would it do that? Now, the helicopter does have, well, it's got a sphere collider for the ball, it's got a box collider for the top bit, and it's got another one for the bottom bits. So we get one per thing. I don't really want that. how do we not do that? Because I guess one can enter, and then the other one can enter, and the other one can enter. We got 3 enters. Well, we could. So it is tagged as chopper. So we could. Here we go. So what we want to say is we'll have a count of the colliders. So M, number of chopper colliders. So in the awake, I normally put stuff in the awake rather than initializing it, which is probably not the best, but it's just a habit. So number of chopper colliders equals 0. So when we enter, we're going to increment that. When we exit, decrement. So then on the update, if number of chopper colliders is greater than 0, then we want to update plants, which we'll do in a bit. Now, if the number of chopper colliders is 0, then this means we've gone from having no choppers to some. Well, there's only going to be one. So if we go from 0, then that's when we want to enter. And then when we exit, because we've got more than one, if number of choppers now equals 0, then we've left. Cool. So save that. So this will now account. Oh, hang on. Let's save. If what we want to do in here, because I labelled it with chopper. Whoa. What we'll do if chopper equals other dot tag. Oh, there's compare tag. Is that better? I don't know. Other compare tag. If that, which I guess returns a boom. Yep. So if it is a chopper, we do this stuff. If it's not a chopper, forget it. Then we want to do that on the exit as well. Do. Save all of that. See if it builds. Does build. I'm going to clear, even though it says clear on play, just so it is clear. Run. So we want to go over there and see one chopper enter. Oh, chopper is not defined. It's an uppercase C. Super. Chopper. Save. Build. Run. Ooh, enter. Just the one. And leave. Exit. Now, if we enter, now I can transform into different things. When I do, is turning off that thing going to make it exit? No. Well, we'll worry about that another time. There's the boat. There's the dude. If I now make the helicopter appear, will we get another enter? No. And even worse, we don't get an exit. Ha. Right, I'm not going to worry about that. What I need to do is, when I do switch vehicles, tell all of these areas to turn off. We won't worry about that right now. So we've got the enter, we've got the exit, assuming we're in the chopper all the time. So when we have more than none, more than no, when we have one or more chopper colliders inside this plant manager, we want to update the plants. But currently the plants just update in their own update. So I think we need to add all the plants, these ones, into the area, which is that big bit there. We want to we want some kind of way of saying these ones belong to this. And seeing as we've already got them, they belong to a parent. If we make it so that every plant needs a parent that has a plant manager, so we turn this one off for the minute. Well, actually, we could just add the plant manager to that. Yeah. Area 2. Hey, ooh, plant manager. Yep, and we want to add a collider, sphere collider, and we'll make it 8. Yeah, that looks kind of right. Oh no, it's all wrong again. So if we zoom in, we want to move it that way, but leave the plants where they are. So if we move all the plants and make them back up one, move the areas that kind of contains them, then we can put the plants all back in, and it doesn't move. Brilliant. So what we want to do in the plant now, the plant, we don't want it to be a mono behavior, the plant script. So if we go into here and we take that out and save, now that should no longer, whoa, transform. Oh, it doesn't have a transform anymore, obviously. Oh, the pain. E. Yeah. Okay, let's make it a mono behavior. And so the awake's fine, the start's fine, but we won't call it update. We'll call it plant manager update. Does that make sense? Yeah, that'll do. This probably isn't the optimal way of doing this, but I've not really thought it through. So it'll awake, it'll do that bit, it'll store its original rotation, but it will no longer update. So let's go and have a look. Spinning plate. So if we fly over there, we'll get the enter. We're in there, and it's no longer doing the wobbling. Cool. So we've optimized it somewhat. Where are you going? Come on. Okay. So that's not updating anything. So seeing as we've now got a mono update for each plant, in the awake we could register ourselves with the plant manager above. The only thing I was thinking is I didn't want to have a mono behavior. So actually, if we take mono behavior off, and in the transform, does a normal one just have a game object? Oh, the big O probably. Does that work? Let's see if that builds. Game object. No, it doesn't have one. It's only the mono behavior things, of course. So how do you get Unity get game object from script? Yes. That one. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to destroy it. Referring to game object script is attached to, yes, it's the one I want. This.gameObject. Is that only if it's a mono behavior there? Print game object. See, that's a mono behavior. Do they all have to be mono behaviors? Really? Referring to game object. not derived from mono behavior. Why do non-mono behavior C# scripts work? Nope, that's not going to help. Yes. Haha. Right, forget that. We'll just do what we're going to do. Plant manager update. We're going to call from here. Boop on all plants. But we're going to register ourselves in the awake. Yes. Register. So, plant manager is going to have a list. So we're going to need a generic collections thingy and list of, what were they called? Plant prototype script. Plant list. Now, do you have to make it a new? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. That'll work. So we've got a plant list, and we want to make a public function, public void register plant. Yeah. And dot add. I'm going to add the plant, which we haven't actually made. It's one of those. So the script itself is going to register with this. When it's created, do we need to deregister? No, let's not bother. So we need to find the plant manager. Now we always know, or we're making a rule, where the parent is the plant manager. So plant manager. Plant manager. That's probably a better way of doing this too. Plant manager equals, so from here we've got the transform parent. Now we're assuming there is always a parent. That's the transform. So can we do find? No. Game object dot find. Hello. We want to find a component. Find component. Component. And we want it to be the plant manager. Yeah. That's not looking likely. Plant. So that's the transform. Can you find a component in a transform? Not. Should be able to do the game object. Dot find component. What's the matter? Get component. Get component plant manager. Let's test to see if there is one. If plant manager. We've done it. Do we have to say if it's not null? Who knows? If plant manager, then plant manager register plant. And the plant is one of these scripts, so just this will do. We are registering the plant script. Save. So now, if the number of chopper colliders is greater than 0, we want to go through this for each plant. The prototype script in whatever is called plant list. Oh, now I got a plant. Plant in the plant list. Plant dot. What's it called? Really? We want that, but we need to make it public. And save. Up. Plant manager update. Did I really call it that? I did, yeah. Yes. And I guess, do I use time in there? No, I don't think so. A bit of wobbling. So we'll save that. See if it builds. So it builds. Get rid of that. Now we go over here. Oh, they're wobbling. And we exit. And they don't look like they're wobbling. And if we go over here, should say enter some point. Oh, really? You know what that is? Area 2 is a trigger. Oh, and I've lost control. So we go in, enter, and they're wobbling about. So, how can we test when it is being done? So we've exited, and we've entered, and they're wobbling. Let's just to test that they're working. When they update, so if we want to update them, do that. Otherwise, let's do something else to them to make it obvious that they're not working. So for all the plants, plant manager, what can we do? Let's scale to 0. Something like that. So, public void scale to 0. So what we want to do is transform dot local scale. Yeah. Equals yeah. Oh, hang on, what's that? That's what is it? What is the local scale? Is it a vector 3? Yes. Equals vector 3. Let's choose vector 2. Vector 3 dot 0. And what we could do just quickly is vector 3 original scale. So I know I've scaled them about. So on the start, the original scale equals transform dot local scale. So it's 0, and if it's being updated, then we'll return it to what it was before, original scale. So they should be invisible, which might be dumb. Scaling it to 0 might not be a great idea. So if we have some helicopters, we will update properly. Otherwise, we scale to 0. So when we're here, those should be tiny. So let's have the game there, and over here, if we go over there, they should disappear. Let's give it a go. Oh, they're not there. And they're not there. And when we go into the thing, they appear. Ooh, so that proves that they're actually being updated, and they're not being updated. And they wobble about. So, let's fly over here. When we get nearby, they should turn. Oh, come on. Area 2 is a trigger. So if you fly over there, they will appear and then flutter around. Wonderful. They flutter more when you've got the power on. Cool. And there you go. So now I could put crops of plants all over the level, and it's only going to be updating the ones that it's currently near. So now we can turn off that rubbish. It's just a test. I'll probably leave it in just so I can test it again in the future. Save that. Now if let's maximize built. Let's fly around. So we've got fluttery plants here, and they'll stay there when I get further away. Bit of tearing. It's running in the editor. And then over here, whether you can actually see it on the capture, at 15 frames a second, you should be able to see something moving about. They're working, so that's cool. And now I know when I'm back here, it's not doing any of the wobble code at all. Jobs are given. Right. So what I would probably do is, what was the nasty bit we didn't like? So the registering, was that okay? Yeah, that was okay. The whole bit of having a mono behavior, I guess you need one for the transforming everything. Yeah, I use a few scripts that aren't derived from mono behaviors, but they're more for systems, like big single systems. So yeah, I guess it just didn't make any sense to not have one on the plant. So what could we do? Probably what I would do is maybe get rid of the parenting and have it so that you detect whether the plant is inside one of these things. Not quite sure how you do that. Whether there's some way of saying, is this position inside a collider, and probably mark these as some sort of scene management thing, or have another thing further up, which is the scene management system that they register themselves with, and then the plants register, say, hey, I'm here, and it gets put into it automatically. But yeah, that's a pretty cheap and easy way of controlling when things get updated. So, hope that's been helpful. I'll see you next time.